Politics. Politics is the set of activities that are associated with making decisions in groups or other forms of power relations among individuals, such as the distribution of resources or status. Thank you for joining me. And I just want to talk a bit today about politics. For a long time in my life, I was not interested in politics. I was like, it's what it is. I just don't care. I'm 30 years old now and I've never voted. I'm a South African. Ever since I was born, pretty much, my kind has been eligible to vote. Before then, if you're a black person living in South Africa, no matter how old you are, no matter your economic status, you're not allowed to vote. But now we are, and I've been able to vote for, I think, two terms now. And I've never done that. I've never had the interest. I've never registered to do it. I just registered to vote in 2024. I just registered a couple of weeks ago. Now, as I'm recording this, it's 2023. And I've registered to vote next year in 2024 in the next national elections of South Africa. A reason why I did not care about politics before was because I felt it had no meaning in my life. It has no effect at all in the things that I get involved in the things that I do. I felt I was going to be successful either way. For a lot of my life, I've done pretty well. I've lived pretty well. I happen to be a fortunate person who does not come from rags. So, that's going to get loud. So I've never seen a reason for anyone outside of my family, outside of my parents, to have an effect in my life. And I never thought they did. Is that very loud? Shit. I'm sorry. There's a lawnmower making noise outside. I'm just wondering how audible it is here. The thing is, it sounds like it's getting louder. Okay, maybe let me finish this before they get closer. So, for a long time, I thought that, this stuff doesn't affect me at all. But now I realize how, kind of like the butterfly effect, how everything that is happening around us has an impact in the little details of your life. And it goes far beyond just politics. I think politics is one thing that has been so alienated, it has been so pushed aside that we feel like, we don't want to be a part of it, especially in South Africa. The people who are involved in politics are setting such a funny example that we just feel like, I don't want to be involved in this. This is really disturbing me. Let me see if I can close the door, if that's maybe going to make it better. That actually works. That works. We've looked at politicians and politics as if it's something for the stupid, because we've seen the things that happen in our parliament, the way that people act. And these are grown-up people. And we're there thinking, I'm a young kid. I want to grow up to be smart and respectable. I don't want to be acting like those people. And for that reason, I think a lot of young people have tried to stay away from politics. Of course, there are some people who have gone into it. A lot of people, especially in South Africa, go into these things for the wrong reasons. With all the corruption that is running rampant within our political spaces, people are getting into politics for corrupt reasons. People are getting into politics for self-empowerment, self-enrichment. And that is where I think the rest of us have to come in. There's a huge number of people who actually care about the progression, not only of ourselves, but the progression of the country as a whole. A lot of us care about the development and the growth of the communities from which we come. A lot of us care about the livelihoods that not only us, but not only we, but that also our kids are going to have to live. We care about the fact that so many security companies are growing around the country. And we're like, they shouldn't be. Yes, it's amazing for security companies, for the companies themselves as companies to be growing. That is amazing. But if you look at the meaning of that, it means that we live in a lawless country. It means that the government cannot take care of us, our security, that now we need to outsource that to the private sector. And I don't hate on security companies in particular. One of my best friends is in security, and I'm really happy that he's doing great. It's amazing. It's just that I'm looking at the idea and what it means. It means that the place we're living in is not safe. And that's why we need people in the private spaces to now come in and play their role. And that is just one of the things that I'm like, we need to be solving this. And I, as a concerned citizen, as a concerned community member, hopefully one day to be a concerned parent, I'd like to live in a place where I am not worried so much about the security of myself, security of my loved ones, security of my kids. Because we should live in a community where people have the bare minimum. People, maybe not bare minimum, but people are able to survive. People have dignity in their livelihoods. And when they have that, there then becomes less of a reason for people to want to take it from other people, for people to want to confiscate it from other people, for people to want to rob it and steal it from other people. I'm not making my point very well, but here's what I'm saying. We're living in a society where our schooling system, education system, is not doing very well. And we expect that from these schools, from the schooling system, is gonna emerge an educated group of people that is going to lead us into a better future. And I think that is another place where we who don't want to be playing in the field of politics now have to get into it, because the schools, especially in the poorer communities, they're not doing very well. But then if I then do well as an individual, I'm just going to build myself a big house, get myself a big car, and then move out and go stay far away from the problem. And that is where the political side of you needs to come in. We are here to make a decision for the group. And I'm saying that, hey, look, I now have access to resources. I have now gotten certain education that gives me more knowledge, gives me more tools to be able to improve not only my life, but also the lives of the people I have grown up with. And that is now where we should be coming in and say, okay, let me put my political cap on. What are the decisions that we need to be making as a community? And no matter what this community may be, it may be a community back where you come from in the rural areas, back in the townships where you come from, or even in a suburb where maybe you live now. Maybe you grew up there because maybe your parents were doing well and you grew up in a suburb. What are the things that we can do and implement here to make this place even better than it is today? Any place in the world can be better. It's a matter of people deciding, hey, what are the things that we can do here to make things better for ourselves? By us being ignorant of politics, we then outsource those sort of questions to other people who perhaps do not care about this place that we come from, but also do not know about the challenges that we have in this place that we come from. They do not care about that gogo who stays down the road, who's suffering from this and that, because they stay far away from that person. They didn't grow up with this person. They do not understand the landscape on which we have grown. They do not understand what resources do we have, what are we missing, what are the things that we can put together, what resources can we pull together to be able to create a better environment for ourselves. And that in of itself is politics. That is a political mindset at play right there. Yes, it's different from having a political party. You can have a political party, but that is not what I'm advocating for. What I am advocating for is for people to care about not only themselves, but to care about the groups surrounding them, to care about the places from which they come, to care about the communities that have bred them to become what they are today. And they should then have the will to, okay, I'm going to give back to the people that raised me. I'm going to give back to the society that made me. I'm going to give back to the community that loves me, because that community loves me and I love it. I'm not just going to come there in December, Nimagaiza, coming back in a fancy car, I'm going to pop bottles and stuff. Hey, that money that you're using to pop bottles, if all of us could just pull together, we can probably improve the sports ground. We can probably improve the classrooms. We can probably improve accountability. in our schools, in our societies, in our sports fields, wherever, in our communities, there's a lot that we can improve with that little bit of money that we get in the cities, wherever it is that we emigrate to. We get funds, we get resources, and we come back and we can use these to improve our situations, and not just our situations, but the situations of the people around us. What that does is you are likely to have less crime because you are doing a good job to help people get up in their lives, and people are seeing an alternative to having to steal from people. But they're like, hey, you know what? This community cares about each other. How about I then add value in this way? Hey, can I get some of that value in this way? And then once I've gotten that value, then I can also help impart some of that value on others in this way. But the examples we have now are examples of individualism, examples of people wanting to do things for themselves, examples of people living in isolation. And that is what has led to a lot of the problems that we have today. The fact that we have forgotten about community, we have forgotten about the people around us, the fact that we have a term for it, but we have forgotten about it. And that term is Ubuntu. The fact that we have forgotten about Ubuntu betu is a big problem. And I think that it starts in politics. And I'm not saying that it starts in political parties. I'm saying that it starts in politics. Us understanding the pure meaning of politics, us understanding our position in society, us understanding our influence in society, us then understanding the power that we have to bring about change, the knowledge that we have attained, the resources that we have attained. It's not of much use for us to try and build all of that for ourselves alone. But it becomes more meaningful if we use that to build communities, to build our societies, and to make our communities a better place. And then collectively, we make the country a better place. And as that becomes more collective as well, we make the entire world a better place. So if we start thinking in that way and stop thinking about things in the way that has been dictated and been propagandaed into us, and start thinking about things in its purest form, and then start acting that way, more and more people are going to follow suit, and things start to move in a certain direction that we envision, in a direction that benefits us, in a direction that benefits everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope that I've added something very valuable to you.